Okay, there's no traffic. Don't worry, there's no traffic. You can go to traffic.com.gh to double check for yourself. But we've checked for you. No traffic. You may proceed. All right, now let's have a quick look through the papers. Mama B, how nice to see you.
Charlie, it's a holiday.
I know, right?
Do you realize it's a holiday?
Not really, no.
Ah.
I woke up at 3:30, and well, actually, should I say this?
No, don't. There are people sleeping.
No.
Like there are people watching us from their bedrooms.
It's not that. It's not
No.
that.
I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm just saying that there are people feeling the holiday, and you and I were sitting here.
I know, but I was going to say, in your case, when you woke up, I'm sure there was somebody who made you feel a bit jealous of the fact that you had to wake up, and they didn't. In my case, we are in the same ship. All right, so let's look through the papers, and I've got the Daily Graphic.
It's just 3 newspapers.
Yeah. All right, so we've got the Times and the Guide as well. Do you want to start?
Okay, yeah. I'll start. We're starting off with the Daily Guide newspaper. Front page, Nana consoles Zanziri family. There's a picture of the president and wife of the late Mrs. Zanziri, that's COP Beatrice Zanziri.
Yeah.
Also, this is the banner headline, really. Ex-NDC MP, 5 others in court for stealing 42 million Ghana cedis. Controller and Accountant General out. BNI chief sacked. And today, obviously, is Workers' Day. Okay. And then Ghana, UK sign new deal. That's what's on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. On the back page, 2 arrested over Salah body. Fenerbahce fans show Dede love. Celebrity hosts World Corporate Golf. And punish Ibrahimovic. We're saying that, all of that on the back page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
Okay, I'll do the Graphic and the Times real quick. Government supports women with disabilities. The banner headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. And they disburses 4 million Ghana cedis to boost business. Also, on the front page, GRA launches policy to deal swiftly with non-tax compliance. Construction of biggest power bulk supply point begins. That does it for the front page. Let's flip it over. On the back of the Daily Graphic this morning, Veep inaugurates hostel, lecture facilities for Immigration Academy. A Santichi version of Holy Quran launched in Kumasi. Wow, that's impressive. And let's do the Ghanaian Times real quick. Government launches $5 million e-procurement system. Also, this is to prevent corruption, inefficiency in public procurement, and expected to save the country $100 million annually. $100 million. Can you imagine what the country could do with $100 million extra? Yeah. Okay, workers mark May Day today. That's on page 13. And I can flip to the back, where GJA wages war against filth, and workshop on protecting rural women in farming ends are the headlines. That does it for the newspapers. Shall we settle on a couple of these stories?
Yeah, I'm actually already in the inside pages of the Daily Guide. This is page 12. And I didn't realize, I guess I was fixated maybe on the other things that the president said when he met the anti-corruption coalition. But he actually commented on the commission, the Emil Short Commission report, and when it was going to be released. I'm just reading a bit of that story on page 12. So the president's, this issue about the commission's reports came up strongly when members of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, chaired by Nana Osei-Bonsu, called on the president at the Jubilee House on Monday. Although he said the constitution of the country makes provision for a certain amount of time for the government or the president to publish or not publish the contents of the report, President Akufo-Addo indicated that, quote unquote, the considerations that went into the Ayawaso Short Commission were very grave. Some of them have very far-reaching implications for the security of our nation, and therefore I think I would rather err on the side of caution. And then there's also another bit where they said the president insisted on his decision to do a thorough study of the reports and its recommendations before, quote and unquote, I come out. Then he also talks about, you know, it was leaked, some media houses published. He said the leak was done by irresponsible people. I don't applaud it, I condemn it. If you know what the laws of this country are, we have this period of time that the Constitution expressly provides for responding to recommendations of commissions of inquiry. You don't help the public discourse by leaking it.
Okay. So he's going to err on the side of caution.
Exactly. He's going to study it closely.
Before he makes a decision about whether to release it or not. Yeah, the law permits that. I think in the end, it's a use of discretion, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The calls of the public are for it to be released, and of course, the public, it's beyond just a matter of curiosity. There are ways in which a release of it now would have practical advantages. Okay, we are in the process of having a law passed. Our representatives, my representative, the person who represents me in government, my MP, in my case, Barbara Asha AEC, is sitting in Parliament right now, representing me in trying to pass this law. She should have all the information available so that she can pass the best law in my interest as a Ghanaian. That applies to you, to every Ghanaian. And so there is the advantage of that report giving them even more of a perspective on how this law should look by the time it's done. Okay, so that is one advantage. But there are many others. You know, the danger of vigilantism still exists. Who knows what will happen this morning or this afternoon or tomorrow or whenever. There are people of Ghana who are at risk. And if the commission has seen a way forward and recommended that to the president, the matter of national security here is of our national security, you know, and that should supersede anything else, in my opinion. There might be aspects of it that are, how should I say this, that are recommendations involving aspects of governance that may not be in the public eye. But you have to understand that the short commission, the individuals on there, are not government appointees. So at the time they were making those recommendations, they didn't have any special clearance. They wouldn't be able to refer to any national secrets. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever they will put in there will be based on their experiences at the commission, which we all watched. So when the president is erring on the side of caution, I am curious to find out what secret detail could possibly be in this report, which was put together by people who are not in our national security apparatus, who have not, they did not hold any in-camera hearings. So there couldn't possibly be anything in there that was not a result of what we all saw with our eyes and heard with our ears.
Well,
so yeah, I would love to understand a bit more the president's
so let me
decision.
let me end with the final quotes. Maybe I don't know if it closes the chapter or not, but this is the president speaking. Until I'm satisfied that I have a response that is up to my sense of responsibility before the Ghanaian people, I will not put it out.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see.
How
I think the other question, what we've been asking, is how much of what is contained in the Commission's report by way of the recommendations is factored into this bill that is before Parliament.
Well, how can any of it be factored in?
No, so, you know, that's because you don't want to have a bill and then go back to some practical recommendations. Because what the Emil Shot Commission did, really, something that I am not sure the bill could do. Because this is something that happened, real life. They called people that the police confessed that they can't even get them. And we actually really, as we sit here, we don't know what has happened to the criminal aspect of this whole investigation. We don't know whether or not the police is still interested in even looking into this matter. Nothing of the sort. We haven't seen any processes in court. But the commission got all these people to come before them to say things that got people to even criticize some of the state institutions. and some of the officials that we've put there. So certainly whatever, and if you look at the caliber of people that we put in this commission, I mean, like, everybody is interested in what the recommendations are, because we know that there will be good recommendations and we want to see them in the law. I mean, what's the point in having these great minds do this extensive work and have good recommendations, and then we have a law? Like, it's just two different things sitting. You get it?
Can you read that last quote again?
Oh, you want to hear the president again?
Yeah, that last thing you read. I think it's important for us to deconstruct it, because it raises a very important aspect of the president's decision-making
the president
process.
is reminding us again that per law, I mean, we are using our highest law, which is the Constitution. It's there, clear. It states the time frame within which the president should tell us something about.
Yes, but that last bit there.
Okay, this is the president again. Until I'm satisfied that I have a response that is up to my sense of responsibility before the Ghanaian people, I will not put it out.
Okay.
What's your difficulty?
Oh, no, I just want to understand it.
Okay.
It's not yet difficult.
Okay.
So he's saying that he has a certain sense, personal sense of responsibility to the people of Ghana.
Oh, he's the president.
And he wants whatever he's going to say about this report to meet his personal sense of responsibility before he puts it out. That's what he's saying.
Okay, you introduced personal. I'm not sure personal is in there.
Well, I mean, when he says my sense of responsibility, I don't know what a sense can only be a personal
So
thing.
his person and the fact that he's president, I'm not sure you can separate the two.
Yes, but either way, it is his sense of responsibility. He's not talking to some codified sense of codified responsibility. He's talking about his sense of responsibility. That can only be a personal thing, because it's not written down anywhere. Nobody has prescribed the level of responsibility for a president. I think it's absolute, isn't it? Anyway, so he's talking about his sense of responsibility here. And he wants whatever response he's going to put out to meet his sense of responsibility before he puts it out. So that means it's not the report that's going to be put out.
Help me understand you.
Yeah, because the report is already written. The president didn't write it. He can't change it to meet his sense of responsibility unless he's going to put out a white paper. That's the only way that what he puts out. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I'm trying to follow. But
the report exists already. If it met his sense of responsibility, he would have put it out.
Okay, that's your interpretation of what I read.
No, that is the only logical inference.
It's still an interpretation that you
where
put
is
to
the
it.
quote? Where is the quote? I want
here,
to read it.
right here.
Until I'm satisfied that I have a response that is up to my sense of responsibility before the Ghanaian people, I will not put it out. So, first of all, he is not satisfied that he has a response. He
hasn't said that.
Until I'm satisfied that I have a response that is up to my sense of responsibility before the Ghanaian people. So, until he's satisfied, he will not put it out.
Okay.
So if he has not put it out, that means he's not satisfied.
Okay, so add to the fact that he's still studying the documents.
We've already established that. But this is what he's saying, that he is not satisfied, that he has a response that meets his sense of responsibility. This is what the president is saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I don't want to separate the last quote from
so
the
let's
previous
attach it.
ones.
The point I'm trying to make is not related to it, but you can attach it if you wish. The point is, whatever is in front of the president right now, it does not meet his sense of responsibility.
I won't make that conclusion.
Until I am satisfied, Mama B, please, until I'm satisfied that I have a response that is up to my sense of responsibility, I will not put it out.
Okay.
So he has not put it out.
This is the last thing that I'll say on this.
He has not put it out.
That is to assume that he's done looking through the report and it doesn't meet his sense of responsibility, so he's not put it out.
Whatever is before him.
But I want to appreciate it within the context of the timelines that is contained in there.
So what you are saying is that
point is,
when he says this, maybe he's trying to say he hasn't finished reading it.
Well, he's still studying it. Besides, per what is contained even in the law, he's not he can decide not to say anything about it today, tomorrow, until that deadline, which I think is
3 months or
6
so.
months.
There's
There's a 6 month window.
Which was what I said first, that the law permits this, okay? So now we are talking about his use of discretion, okay? Because he has the discretion to release it before the fullness of that time. But he is saying that until he is satisfied that he has a response that meets his personal responsibility, personal sense of, his sense of responsibility to the people of Ghana, he will not put it out. Okay. Now, what you are suggesting is that maybe he hasn't finished reading it or studying it.
Yeah, because because he says in that conversation that he's studying the thing.
So when he says that he doesn't,
the leakage,
he doesn't have a response that meets his sense of responsibility, what he means is that he hasn't finished reading it yet. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not interpreting what he said. I am just trying to understand it the way that he said it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one thing is for sure. This is a suggestion, and I'm happy to say this is my own interpretation at this point. This is a suggestion that perhaps the response the president will give to the people of Ghana will not necessarily be the entirety of that report.
I'm tempted to ask why, but you said this is your personal interpretation.
It's because
so
I am reading his words that he's not satisfied yet.
All right.
That he has a response that meets his sense of responsibility.
Okay.
But he does have the report, the full report.
That remains your interpretation.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if you're interested in this story about the BNI boss being sacked. There were conflicting reports, that he had resigned, that he had been sacked, that there's some reason he's been sacked. But this is the Daily Guide's angle to the story on page 3, if you don't mind a bit of it. The director of the Critical Security Agency, the Bureau of National Investigations, has reportedly been removed from office. Rashid Seidu Inusa, until his appointment as director of the BNI, worked at the research department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Daily Guide has learned that he has returned to his former position and his place taken over by his deputy, a certain Damfrey. That's how they put it. Even before the official release of the correspondence about his removal, speculations were rife about the presidential action. The coordination between BNI and sister agencies, especially the police, did not deserve plaudits. Well, there are other commentary on it with this story. Point is that when you're reassigned or when you're sacked, the president, more often than not, they don't tell you why, and they can do that. So, yeah. I don't know what the interpretation is, but remember also that the Daily Guide, when it said that the 3 missing girls from Takoradi had been found, attributed that strongly to the BNI. Because at the point they said the BNI clinic.
Yes.
That's where the girls were. So yesterday I was just thinking about this whole BNI boss issue. I was thinking, okay, has it got to do with, is it the information that got to the paper, or it's just poor coordination between the police and the BNI, like all sorts of things.
It would surprise me. It would surprise me if that was it. Okay. Again, you see, this is the thing, because the appointing and disappointing body, the president, is not obliged to explain his decisions to us. So what that leaves is space for speculation. So every time you use the discretionary power without explaining it, then you open yourself up as fair game for speculation. Okay. So at this point, your first instinct was to think whether it is connected to the girls. Now, when you raised it, I thought to myself, well, it's a possibility, but there is nothing that this executive, in fact, this president has done that would indicate to me that he is that concerned about how this case with the Takoradi girls is going.
Really?
Yes. The only time he has spoken about it is when he was directly questioned about it by the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition at the same meeting where he said that thing about the short report. That's the only time since the first girl disappeared in August that the president has spoken about this. You follow? So it would shock me that somebody would lose their job over it. It didn't seem to me to be something that was that heavily on his radar. He hasn't indicated that to the people of Ghana. Maybe it is. Maybe he really cares about it. Maybe he's not even sleeping because of it. But he has not indicated that to the people of Ghana.
Well, there are many things that, I mean, you don't expect the president to tell you that, oh, I am worried about this. I mean, it's just like,
it's only the important things.
As a parent,
it's only the
even when they're really worried about something, they want you to, because they have to give you hope. And they have to appear very confident.
You don't give hope by not talking.
So the story, because I've just been trying to read further, attributes the sacking possibly to poor coordination, and they mentioned the kidnapped girls as well.
I see.
And then there's a bit that says they may have given the CID boss some wrong information. Reason she organized a press conference and said, we know where the girls are and they'll soon be reunited with their families.
But this is the Daily Guide.
It's still speculations. I mean, just like
this is the Daily Guide. Unfortunately, their credibility when it comes to this story is in question.
In terms of the three girls?
Takrady, yes, their credibility when it comes to the Takrady kidnappings is in question, because they are the same people who published a story last week that the girls have been rescued, and they were not equivocal about it, So yeah, it's hard for me to take their angle here as gospel, but it is certainly possible. And like I'm saying, the suggestion here is not that the president does not care. It's that the president has not indicated that he cares. You follow?
How do you mean?
He hasn't said a word about it until Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition yesterday or the day before asked him directly about it. So if they hadn't asked him about it, I can't assume he would ever have said anything. Okay, because there have been opportunities every single day to say something about it.
I think that we've all been disappointed, especially because this story, I mean, this was there, and it's not even just a story. These are human beings, these are families, and these are children, of parents. And this was there even before the State of the Nation, and we all expected him to say something. But I won't directly say that the fact that he hasn't, or he didn't until 2 days ago, means that he doesn't care.
That's not what I'm saying either.
About the situation.
That's not what I'm saying either. I'm saying that it is very possible that he does care. It's even possible that he's losing sleep over it. But he's not indicating that to the people of Ghana.
Yeah, and my point is, must he come and tell you, Kojo, that I couldn't sleep last night because I was thinking about, what's happening with the kidnappings in our country?
Mama B, the point I'm trying to make is, the people of Ghana have no way of knowing that it bothers him. All right? We have no way of knowing. So now we have to guess whether or not it bothers him. You get it? That's why I'm saying it may be that he doesn't sleep at night. I'm not saying that's a fact. You have taken it as a fact and saying, if it is, then why should he tell the people that he's not sleeping? I'm not saying he's not sleeping. I'm saying I don't know.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm also
whether
trying
he
to
cares or
do
not.
some analysis based on that.
Yeah, so, I don't know whether he cares or not.
We're all speculating, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Because we don't know anything.
This speculation is avoidable. It's avoidable. If the president indicates the things that he's actually thinking about to the people of Ghana, then we don't have to guess whether he's thinking about it or not. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, maybe some 2 minutes, or we have to wrap up and make way for sports. Otherwise, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. There are more stories on our page, myjoyonline.com. Go there and explore. Stay with us. We'll bring you sports right here on the AM show.